Hey guys, Dennison underscore 1991 back at you with something a little bit different. We're going to be doing a little book tour, which is, like I said, something different, something besides doing video games. And yeah, I just want to show you guys the type of books I have on my bookshelf, and maybe you might notice some, maybe you won't. So let's get into it. So we'll start at the top here. Well, here's the actual top. Here's all my Legos. There's more of it there, but like we got some Mandalorian Lego set, a lot of Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Got a TIE Bomber, Dragon Ball comic, well, manga right there. Yeah, I got a Optimus and what he looks like on the inside. That was actually a gift by someone in high school. I really liked it. Yeah, I got a little speeder right there, battle droids. Vader and his from the episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. 2 Vaders actually. But for the first row, we have a lot of books that deal on just Christianity in general, Christian theology, church history. Calvin's a giant institute of the Christian religion. If you want to understand anything about Protestantism, I've not read this. I want to eventually, but like very foundational work. We have some early Christian writings. So like from the 1st, 2nd, 3rd centuries AD. And yeah. Got a book on Puritans, the Puritans on loving one another, and Pilgrim's Progress. I haven't read this. I've read Church History. I've read No Tears in Heaven. Mortification of Sin, good book. I haven't read that. I haven't read Freedom of the Will by Jonathan Edwards. Really, Jonathan Edwards, early fundamentalist Christian in the 19th century, or maybe it was 18th century. I think he was an apologist too. Got some more. These are a part of a series. They have this really cool, like, art on the front. See, that's G.K. Chesterton, his orthodoxy. Interestingly enough, he was a Catholic, but he was a Christian apologist as well. Got the Rare Jewel of Christian Contentment. I love the artwork on this. There's Luther's 3 treatises. I mean, look at that. Luther as like a plague doctor or something. Yeah, pretty cool. And then J.C. Ryle is his Thoughts for Young Men. I started that. I never finished it, but I'd like to. We have Arthur W. Pink, The Total Depravity of Man. Really good book. I read that a while ago. I should probably go over it again. It was, wow. And then we have on this side kind of a bit of philosophy. Oh yeah, I forgot. I have Augustine's Confessions. I haven't read. Look at that. That's beautiful. But yeah, I'm a sucker for really good book covers. But yeah. Oh yeah, I also have a Russian Bible. I think this is Old and New Testament. These were also a gift. I was really thankful for it. I like Russian stuff. So here we have the Constitution, and this was actually a gift from my grandma, and it's the Constitution illustrated. So you see, it's kind of like in the comic form. We got Charlie Brown. We got, can't really see that good. Oh, we got that one comic thing from newspapers, and we got, is that Marvel? I don't know. Yeah, just really cool stuff. And this book here contains all, well, not all, but a lot of important American documents. So the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, the Franklin D. Roosevelt speech, the Gettysburg Address, Civil Rights Act of 1964, I think, and just a lot of other stuff. And then a bit more, probably hardcore philosophy. We have these are actually from college. I was able to keep these. So John Stuart Mill, Utilitarianism, and the 1868 Speech on Capital Punishment. John Stuart Mill, he's known as the founder of utilitarianism. I haven't read any of these. I'm going to get to it eventually. I think utilitarianism is basically life should be lived. It's kind of like Epicureanism, where you should live life to avoid pain and promote pleasure and happiness, which sounds like desirable and simple, but I don't think it's as simple as it seems. Immanuel Kant and his grounding for the metaphysics of morals on a supposed right to life because of philanthropic concerns. I'm not even going to pretend like I understand all that, because I was supposed to read this in my ethics class. Which, I mean, I read some of it. Think about Immanuel Kant, like that dude was smart. He knew how to write, like, man. And then we have the rights and wrong of abortion and all the contributors. And this one I probably, like, I don't know if I read all this or not. I read some of it. Some of the arguments were pretty interesting. And I'm not going to get into my opinions on abortion right now, just for the sake of the video. But I have, let's just say I have strong opinions, let's put it that way. But I try to keep an open mind. Then we have probably, it's most famous of all, the Communist Manifesto and Das Kapital. This was a gift from one of my good friends from high school, and we're still friends to this day, by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. This book has caused quite a stir over the last 190 years, maybe pushing 200 years right now. Yeah, definitely worth a read to understand kind of what's going on. And of course, we have The Republic by Plato. And yeah, if you want to understand anything about Western philosophy, Plato is the way to go. I mean, I started this a while ago, never finished it. I remember I had a hard time reading it just because when it gets abstract, it kind of goes over my head. But yeah, it's a very important book in political philosophy and I think ethics. Yeah, I mean, if you want to understand like Plato, Socrates, Aristotle, that's where it all started with Western thought. Really good book, I've heard. What's this? It's the Constitution, and a book that I have read, The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Really good book. A lot of wise sayings. It kind of remind me of Proverbs in a way, the book of Proverbs, just more concerned about war. I think a lot of military officers actually this is a required reading for them. It was a really cool book. All right, that's done for this row. All right, now for the second row, we have my basically fiction and novels. So here we have the Odyssey and the Iliad by Homer. I haven't read this. I'd like to. Look at how chunky it is. It's 2 stories. The Odyssey, I think, is shorter. I try to organize my book chronologically, and I kind of sort of succeeded. But yeah, we have that. I just recently got the Aeneid of Virgil, and I'd like to read that as well. 2 very influential stories in Western literature. And we have probably the oldest on this shelf, the Epic of Gilgamesh. Really, really old story. I read that one and it was pretty wild. It was cool. I love Gilgamesh and his friendship with the Kendu. It was sad, it was awesome, it was great. Mysterious. kind of give you an insight how the ancients thought, how they saw the world. We have The Gambler by Dostoevsky. You may have noticed I have 4 stories by Dostoevsky. Actually I have 5. I really love Dostoevsky and his books, man. They're great. I haven't read The Gambler. I've read Crime and Punishment. I mean, if I could recommend a book in fiction, read Crime and Punishment. It's an amazing book. It's a psychological thriller. Like, he's probably Dostoevsky is probably one of the earliest pioneers in psychological thriller. It's almost kind of like I don't know if it's more of a detective. I mean, it's about a crime and a punishment, though the punishment is not what you might think. It's about 400 pages, so it's kind of a hefty read, but I got through it. And it was great. Dostoevsky, he does a really good job at going into the character's inner psyche and just sort of explaining what they're going through and how they interact with themselves and others, and explaining complex ideas and almost personifying them. It's amazing. And we have 2 stories, actually, by Dostoevsky, Notes from Underground and The Double. I've read Notes from Underground. I haven't read The Double yet. Notes from Underground, also really good. It's a really good examination and I think a critique of nihilism in a way, done in a very interesting way. Really good. Honestly, anything by Dostoevsky is good. The Gambler, I think, is kind of about Dostoevsky's when he had a gambling addiction at one point in his life and he lost all his money. I haven't read The Double yet. And we have Dune, and as we all know, Dune has its own movies right now. I've seen the first Dune movie. I've also seen the second one. Those are really good. I had no idea that they had books. I didn't even know the Dune was a thing before Star Wars. That was very interesting. But yeah, I mean, look how thick the first Dune book is. We have Dune Messiah and Children of Dune. I would really like to get into these eventually. I love sci-fi. And then we have Sherlock Holmes books by who wrote these? Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Is that right? Okay. I haven't read any of these, but I mean, Sherlock Holmes, he's great. I like Sherlock Holmes. Call the Wild and White Fang. I just finished Call the Wild, and I want to start White Fang eventually. Call the Wild, just chef's kiss. Love that book. It was terrifying, heartwarming, made me mad, made me almost cry. I love Buck, that the main character is a wolf. Well, he's more of a dog, but, kind of, he becomes essentially a wolf, but it is great. Great. Highly recommend it. And George Orwell's probably his most famous book of all, 1984. Really amazing dystopian, very foundational dystopian book. That ending, I was not expecting that ending, but it's very fitting, very fitting. Just amazing. Highly recommend this book. If you want to start with Orwell or just dystopian, start with 1984. Great Gatsby, another famous book. I haven't read this. I'd like to. I know I think I have a good idea what it's about, but I want to read more of it. Cormac McCarthy's No Country for Old Men. Oh yeah, also I have my pop figures. Megatron, Batman. This was actually a gift from a friend. And we got Optimus. Yeah, they're really cool. I love Transformers and DC, Marvel. I'm more a Marvel guy than DC, but I like DC. My favorite DC superhero is Superman, and my favorite Marvel hero is Captain America. I'm speaking real fast because I'm trying to go by fast. But yeah, No Country for Old Men. I got into this because of the movie. You guys might know the movie. It's a really good movie. It's actually, now that I read the book, I finished the book, there are similarities, but there are actually a lot of differences in the book. But it was just, Cormac McCarthy's, his writing style is very unique. He doesn't use a whole lot of syntax, which is interesting, and there's a lot of just moments of silence and kind of pause in his books. Like, there's a lot of moments in the book where characters will just be kind of sitting and staring into the distance. It'll describe this character. so-and-so sat there for a while. Like, it's just very uncanny, very liminal in a way. I don't know, but it's really good. Then Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology. Basically a bunch of Norse mythology stories that Neil Gaiman sort of explains. And then we have Tolkien, Stories of Numenor and Middle-earth, Unfinished Tales. Haven't read that. I love Lord of the Rings, and yeah, Lord of the Rings, yep, I love it. Dante Alighieri, The Inferno, that very famous, very influential work. And yeah, I haven't read that yet. I'd like to. James Welch, Fool's Crows. This book, I've had this for a while. I've actually have not read this. I had to read the. Well, I had to do a report on this back in my early years of my sophomore or freshman year of college, and I didn't read it. I forgot to, but I'd like to eventually. I felt bad for not reading it. And then we have one you might recognize, King in Yellow. I finished this one not too long ago, and I've not gone insane yet. But that was a really good read. Not what I expected. I mean, it just wasn't what I expected. It doesn't mean it was bad. It was good. I liked it. It was a collection of short stories, interestingly enough. But yeah, I liked it. Just not what I expected. Which can be a good thing. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. Very famous book. Very famous. I had to read that in high school. Moby Dick. Very famous. I read that one. I really liked it. Can't remember much from it, though. Animal Farm by Orwell. Another famous Orwell story. And Romeo and Juliet. I had to read that in high school. Another famous one. Haven't read that. Well, actually, I haven't read it on my own. Fahrenheit 451, love that book. Such a good book. Probably more relevant now than ever. And now we're getting to the history section. If you know me, you know I love history. I actually plan on being a secondary social studies teacher when I graduate. So yeah, I won't be reading about it, I'll be teaching it. I mean, I'll still be reading about it when I teach it, but, you know. Anyway, here we have Songs of America. This was a gift by my grandma. Here's the history of the different songs that were made in America, about America. Legends and Lies. This was also a gift, sort of explaining the Patriots. Guts and Glory. I love this book series. This guy, he writes about the different battles and different events in the Civil War and just in history in general, and sort of explains them in his own creative way, almost like in a novel, kind of in a novel. And the art, the art is really cool. Then we have Facts Historians Leave Out, Confederate Primer. This book, I haven't read this. I haven't read these either. I've read Guts and Glory, but I haven't read this. I did not get this book. This was also a kind of a gift. I don't really know how to, I don't know. Titles like these make me kind of suspicious. But I will read it eventually just to see what John S. Tilley has to say. So, American History, actually two volumes on American history. This one's from 1492 to 1877 by Thomas S. Kidd. I haven't finished these. I've only started on this one. I haven't finished it. Thus far, I thought it was what I read, I thought it was good. I really appreciated that the author, in his introduction or preface, he let the audience know who he was and what his background was. And I really appreciated that. I think more authors should do that when it comes to history or trying to explaining stuff. But yeah, I would really like to get into these. Yeah, they just look really cool. Rural Life, Piedmont of South Carolina. This is actually a really cool. Same with this one, Tefusky Island, which is also in South Carolina. Just a lot of cool pictures and explanations of those pictures in South Carolina, which was where I live, so really cool. This was also a gift. I haven't read this yet. I mean, I started, but I haven't finished it. On the Brink of Revolution, March 1917. I haven't. That's Woodrow Wilson, Tsar Nicholas II. I don't really know if this is like fictional history or if this is based on like I don't know. I think it might be. I can't remember. Maybe it is, but we'll see. There we go. Okay, I've had these forever. I've had these forever. This is like World War II. I mean, obviously, but it's day by day. It goes day by day in World War II, the different events that happened. And it's awesome. It's a really cool book. I really love how it explains everything. And this is an archive collection, a bit different. Like, oh yeah, also pop figures. This guy from the last sequel movie, I think. Goofy little dude. Also this droid that showed up for some reason. We never saw it again. Oh man. Where research begins. So this was actually a textbook in my historian's craft class that we had to have, and I didn't get a chance to read all of it, but I thought it would be really cool if I bought it for myself because I want to become a better researcher. So yeah, I think that'd be great, you know. And this book, How to Read a Book by Mortimer Adler. I've read this before. I'm rereading it right now, as you can tell. I love how Adler, he breaks down reading into 4 stages, and it's not complicated. It's kind of a long book, but he breaks it down in a way that's very comprehensive. If anyone wants to if you want to get better at reading, and if you even want to know where to start, I'd highly recommend this book. Highly recommend it. It's really good. You won't regret it. Herodotus, the Histories. I mean, look at this chonky boy. I got this kind of not too long ago. I haven't read it yet, but I mean, Herodotus, known as the father of history. He's Greek, of course, because Greeks, and they do everything in the ancient world. They think of everything and whatnot, apparently. So yeah, really famous. Cyrus the Great, a book on Cyrus the Great, really influential Persian king, responsible for allowing the Hebrew people to go back to their homeland. He also did a lot of reforms in his own kingdom. Very cool guy. I don't know about cool, but I mean, I guess he was, Book on classical civilization, origins of democracy to the fall of the Roman Empire. It's a brief guide, so it gives you a pretty general understanding. I haven't read that. I'd like to. Stupid history, just stupid history facts. It's very funny. And Nathan Tales, Hazardous Tales. I mean, really, Lafayette. This one's on Lafayette. French, I think it was French royal, I think, who served in the American Revolution on the side of the Patriots. I love Nathan Hale's, his graphic novels and history. They're just so cool and funny and awesome. They're great. Another Guts and Glory about the Vikings, also really good. Very, very good storytelling. Webster's World Dictionary, New World Dictionary, just coming at you. John Wayne, handy book for boys. I haven't read this. I should, I might learn something. Here's a U.S. Army Survival Guide. I've had this for a while. This is actually a gift from my cousin who was in the Army, I think. It's pretty cool. The Manual for Manhood, so-called. I just thought I would get this because I had a lot of cool tips and skills that you could learn and teach yourself. So, why not? Still need to learn how to tie myself a tie. Yes, From Niet to Da, Understanding the Russians. I've had this for a couple of years now. And this was just, I mean, I read this book and it was pretty good. maybe a little dated. I think it was written in the 90s after the fall of the Soviet Union, shortly after. So it might be a little, it may need a revision and probably another edition, but it was really informative. I liked it. Then we have Putin's Playbook. I think I got this for Christmas or my birthday. Russia's secret plan to defeat America. I haven't read this. I probably should. Yeah, but it looks cool. It'd be a very interesting read. And then we have all my comics and chapter books that are about pop culture. Yeah, book on happiness from my grandma. Just happiness, things that make you happy. 500 things to be happy about. Lovely. Book on Republic Commandos. I need to finish this. So cool. Thrawn books. Thrawn's one of my favorite characters in Star Wars. I read this one. Really good. Amazing book. And I got the second one. I need to read this. Dude man, Thrawn is awesome, dude. He's so cool. Star Wars X-Wing Mercy Killing. I think this is canon. I don't know what this is about, though. Then we have Honor Among Thieves, which is Legends. This one's about Han Solo. And then Star Wars A Life Debt Aftermath. What is this about? Oh, maybe that was the one that was about Han Solo. As the Millennium Falcon. I think that's canon. More Nathan Hale, Hazardous Tales. This one's about World War One. This is my favorite. The Trenches. This one's about, treaties, trenches, mud and blood. Very, very cool storytelling. Really funny and just great. Cold War. This is one of his newer ones. Cold War Correspondent. Also really good. About the Korean War. And this lady who was actually a correspondent. She was a news reporter in the Korean War. Really, really cool. Her story is really cool. I think I don't know if I finished it or not. Here we have Phasma, a Star Wars book on Phasma, which I got very close to finishing this. I remember I read it for a book report, I think. This was a really, really cool story about Phasma. It kind of made me more interested in about Phasma as a character. I probably would be more so if I finished it, but I thought Phasma was a robot before I found out she was human, but this really explains her origins and her backstory and how she became part of the First Order. Really cool. Aftermath, Empire's End. I think I read some of this. This is basically what it sounds like, how the final battle at the Empire's End of Jakku. That's why there's a bunch of destroyed Star Destroyers and AT-ATs and X-Wings on Jakku, because it was their final battle, essentially. Pokemon. I got this at a book fair in elementary school. Bro, Pokemon, dude. I'm not really a big Pokemon fan, but shoot, dude. As like a 7-year-old, bro, I was about to get this. It's actually really cool. Superman, dude. Superman, All-Star Superman, bro. This was such a great comic. I really enjoyed this comic. And the DC, The New Frontier, this was such a good comic as well. I will say DC, their comics, I love DC's comics. Halo, I haven't played any Halo games because I'm PlayStation, but dude, whenever Halo comes out for PlayStation, I'm playing it. This is really good comic. Tales from Slip Space, really, really good. Here we have, you may notice I have 3 books about SCP. If anyone knows what SCP is, you're a cool person. But if you don't know what SCP is, you're not. No, I'm kidding. It's basically it's very niche creepypasta. Probably not very niche at this point, but it's a creepypasta about an organization that contains anomalies. So kind of like the CIA or the FBI, but if they were cooler. We have that's pretty that's SCP-096, Shy Guy. It's books that has a lot of artwork. 049, and I don't know what that one is. It has all of their descriptions and the artwork and what they do and how the Foundation found them and their classification. It's awesome. I haven't read this. I need to. Oh, wait, actually, no. I did read this. Yeah, this one's about Boba Fett, Blood Ties. This is Legends, interestingly enough. Really cool. Boba Fett's awesome. Favorite bounty hunter. Dude, this is all of the old 80s Transformers comics into one compendium, dude. Look how the cover art is awesome, but like, dude, I'm only this far. It's so much, dude. It's great. I love Transformers, but yeah. Adventure Time. I'm a big Adventure Time fan. Yep. And they make comics. The comics are not canon, unfortunately, but I mean, they're still awesome to read. Probably my favorite Marvel comic is Thor Ragnarok. I think it takes a bunch of volumes into one thing. It's just, I mean, it's about Thor, obviously, and it's great. It's amazing. Star Wars Darth Vader. Yeah. I love the Vader comics are awesome. This is a really good one. We don't really get to know much about Vader and what he does, but the comics do a good job at explaining his kind of what he does. The Winter Soldier, very cool comic. Sad, very sad, but cool. Infinity Gauntlet. This one's amazing, dude. This was such an awesome read. It's basically like Infinity War, just it was a bit different. It was actually really different. DC comic Death in the Family, very very sad one. I think it was an old one too, but it was really good. We have Batman: The Arkham Knight Volume 3. I think this was from the video game as well. And then last but not least, we have all the chunky boys. Halo Warfleet. I'm going really fast. I'm sorry, guys. Hey, let me do something. Let me get off my chair. And just get on the ground here. There we go. Halo Warfleet. This was really cool. I got this at a book fair. One about Legos. It's kind of stuck. Yeah. It just explains the different planets, different armaments, and where the Halo rings are, and how the ships are and stuff. Really, really cool. Like I said, I'm a big Halo nerd. Book on Legos. I'm not even gonna try to pull that out. Back to Basics. I think it's about homesteading, which I should read that. That'd be interesting. Oh my gosh, it's stuck. Are you kidding me? Oh well, I'll get back in later. This one is kind of an encyclopedia on military aircraft, tanks, and warships in the 20th century. Really, really, really cool. Textbook on psychology from sophomore year, I think. It was pretty informative. I mean, textbooks, I always have to keep revising them, but I think it can be pretty informative. 11E, that must be the 11th edition. My writing and grammar book from high school. I do not like grammar. Marvel Encyclopedia. This is really, really, really cool. I love this encyclopedia. My book about guns. Yeah, guns. I like guns, I would love to fire every gun ever made. I think that would be awesome. Yeah. Monumental America. Oh yeah, I guess it's about all the monuments. This is, I actually plan to use this book more in the summer to learn bass. It's a book, it has a DVD version of this book, but yeah, it basically teaches you how to play bass guitar. I used to play upright bass for an orchestra in middle school, but I would like to play this. I do have a bass of my own, so learning this would be awesome. And I got this for my birthday, The American Revolution, an illustrated history. I mean, an intimate history. I mean, this looks so cool. This looks awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to read that. I think it was also a TV series as well, if I remember correctly. And this, we've had this one forever. The Smithsonian, the Civil War history, really, really cool. Really, we've had this book forever. But yeah, I really need to go over this book. It's really cool. Got some of my yearbooks. I won't show you those. How to build Lego. How to build easy creations with Lego bricks. I love Lego's great. NKJV, New American Patriot Bible. This was a gift from my grandma on my dad's side of the family. A World War I, an illustrated history. Let me get this. Also really cool book. Lots of pictures and descriptions. World War I, very interesting war. There's an argument to be made that World War I, actually, or the 7 Years' War was actually the first World War. There is a debate about that in the history community, but for now, World War I is the first one, first World War. But the timeline of everyone. This I think I got for my birthday. I can't remember, but it's also by Smithsonian, and it's basically, it goes in a timeline. I think by I don't know if it's by timeline and continent, but yeah, it just has a timeline of all these important people. Great and important people who contributed much to the history of mankind. Yep. Really, really, really cool. Ashoka. See, at first I thought this guy was Ahsoka. I was like, wait, what? But no, it's Ashoka. Very famous ruler from India, ancient India. Asikia the Great. See, some of these people I've never even heard of. I really appreciate that they have like people that, at least from my perspective, from maybe a Western or an American perspective, you never hear much about these people. Qingxi. I know about Qingxi. I think she was a pirate lord, very feared pirate lord. See, I don't even know who this guy is. Aloda Equano. See, I don't know who that is. Yeah, I definitely don't know who George Washington is. De la Cruz. Yeah, Shakespeare, Ivan the Terrible, Atahualpa, Farmers Through Time. Yeah, just great stuff. Ooh. Yeah, this thing about history is, I won't go into that right now. Hold up. I had to take another video. The way things work, basically this explains how things work, but a very visually stunning way. It's just, I mean, like look at this. It's very comic-y sort of way. I mean, this was about spur gears, the gearbox, cams and cranks, car brakes and how they work, oil rigs, like bro, what is that? The submersible, the submarine. Dude, it's so cool. Gosh, I want to read that, dude. It's so cool. I think this is actually for my brother, but it wound up here. Here we have a book on Russian grammar, which, why is it upside down? I don't know. Wait, the title, the cover page is, oh, maybe from here it's, oh, okay, I'm just kind of slow. But yeah, daily Russian. I would try to learn Russian for beginners, supercharge your lessons. Yeah, it has a lot of different lessons, and I would like to try and learn Russian, maybe over the summer. I don't know how successful I would be. I'd probably have more luck with, yeah, I've attempted before. I probably have more luck with Spanish, but I mean, Spanish would definitely be a helpful language to learn, but my passion is in Russian. I don't know, man, I just like Russian. What else? Got a book on Sea Power, which is just the American Navy. I've had this for a while. Dangerous book for boys. This was a gift from my uncle. Basically, information for young men, which I guess it could also be for young women, but I think the author intended it for young men, so maybe young men would be more interested in the information than young women, but anyway. The DC Comics Encyclopedia, the new edition, really, really cool. I've had this for a couple of years now. Love this. Really cool artwork and just, oh dude, Batman Who Laughs. Anti-Monitor, Hawk Girl, Green Arrow, Gorilla Grodd. Love it, love it. And, excuse me, I'm just gonna put you right there for a second. Okay, and that are all the books on my bookshelf. It looks like when I take a... Oh yeah, sorry. One more thing, sorry. These are comics based on biblical stories. We have the 12, basically what happened to the 12 apostles. We also have the witnesses, which is what happened to stories about the, I think, early saints, like Polycarp and Justin Martyr and Mary and all that. And I do have some other books on my other shelf. Yes, I'm in my pajamas. We have The Last Ronin. I got this for my birthday. Really awesome. We also have my Bible. This is I have a lot of Bibles. This is a NKJV. I really like the translation. I love the Bible. It's awesome. I mean, I'm a Christian, so you could say it's, you know, it's in the description, but I mean, the Bible's God's word, and just it's just awesome. I mean, like, reading it is just like, you can never comb the depths of it. You know, we try, but there's always something that God teaches us, and we often need to be taught. So my favorite, like, I don't know. My favorite gospel would probably be John. I love John. John he really goes into the deity of Christ and his divinity. Really, really awesome. And here we have more books up here. Lewis Gark poems. I like poetry. I try to write my own, but I'm not very good at it. Mouse. Some of you may have heard of Mouse. Yeah, this is a Lord of the Rings horn. Yeah, it's about the Holocaust and in a anthropomorphized storytelling. Fox's Book of Martyrs, really good book. History of the Martyrs, Gospel Focus of Charles Spurgeon. Love Charles Spurgeon. Another Dostoevsky book, The Idiot. I started this. I haven't read it in a while, but it's pretty good so far, I think. And we have Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. I can't wait to read those. Vinland Saga, some manga. Man, Vinland Saga. I saw the anime. Really, it was my favorite anime. Well, maybe not my favorite. My favorite anime is Attack on Titan. But this is, I don't know if this is, would this be second, or would Jujutsu Kaisen be second? I don't know. I kind of like this better just because of the story. Walk in the Light. This is something my mom got me and my siblings as a kind of devotional. I need to read this more. A book on investing. Yeah. I really need to read this. I feel like investing would be important to know how it works. Superman Birthright, kind of his origins, more history, Anglo-Saxons, the history and beginning of England, Powers and Thrones, kind of the new history of the Middle Ages. I got this at when I was at the beach a few years back. I think I was at Isle of Palms, I think. Yeah, it was really cool. And all the Narnia books. Yep. And that is everything. Well, not everything. Here are my Legos, the space station, Minecraft, Starscream, Cosmo, who has fallen over, Shockwave. Some more stuff. Here's a cone head. And that concludes my book / Lego Transformer tour, I guess. But yeah, I really enjoy reading. I'm not very consistent with it as much as I would like, but I hope to in the summer to be better at it. So yeah, that's all of it. And you know, I would encourage whoever watches this video, if you don't read, I would encourage you, like, just start reading. It's a great trade-off from other stuff that's really, if you're feeling unproductive, reading is a very good way to be productive. And you know, you don't have to be a serious reader. I mean, if you just want to read fiction, or there are different ways to, like, and different reasons why people read. You can read for entertainment, you can read for information, you can read for knowledge and just to understand things. But reading goes a long way. And it can be a very practical experience. It could be a very fun experience. And just, yeah, it's great. It's great. I'm not very good at it, but I'd like to be eventually. So, yeah. Is there anything else I'd like to say? I don't think so. I think this video has kind of gone on long enough, but thank you to whoever watched, and if you don't mind, like this video, subscribe if you want, and man, that feels weird to say. Wow, I'm like a YouTuber. Sorry. I'm kind of stupid. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you all have a good day, and just God loves you. Your life matters. Keep doing hard things and keep living. Dark times pass. See ya.